There was a group of 6 people locked into a hall and they were asked to scream. And look what? All of them started screaming turn by turn. And at best, they could reach to their 70% potential. So this is a fact that whenever we are into a group, our best doesn't come out. And if these people are left to think about or deliver something on their own, they'll be best. So what happens when we get stuck or when we are into a group? So what is this group dynamics? I want to ask you, does brainstorming really works? Because when it comes to group, unless you have a culture, brainstorming doesn't work. People hardly share. They are not secure, they are not safe, they fear conflicts and they keep their mouth shut. And brainstorming with the intent of coming up with ideas don't deliver what we want. For producing a car or even a piece of content which is broadcasted on social media, there are thousands of people collaborate. Collaboration is a necessity to thrive. Collaboration is important for all of us. Willingly or unwillingly, we need to learn skill to collaborate. Daimler and Chrysler decided to merge. They thought they have a great synergy. One company which is making great car, luxurious car, another company making frugal and cost-effective cars. But what happened? Merger failed because people did not come together. Post-merger of Daimler-Chrysler, people were afraid that if they speak together, there will be conflicts. Both CEOs were not interacting with each other. Their teams were not interacting. And when people don't interact, things don't move. Don't stop talking, my dear friend. Marriages fail because not of conflict, because people stop speaking, stop talking. When you stop talking, how will you discover the path of solutions? If this whole thought that there could be a potential conflict, why should we discuss? And with that, if we keep ourselves reserved and don't talk, that itself is a disaster. Speaking is essential, talking is essential to discover a solution. In your life, in your work, if you are facing a difficult situation with somebody or a situational problem, you got to speak out. I've seen a lot of people when they are stuck, they don't speak, they don't talk, and situation stays where it is. The famous Wright brothers, Wilbur and Orville, they used to fight a lot. They used to argue a lot. This is how they used to grow. There's a science behind how you communicate. They used to argue. This thing is not functioning, and they used to argue. They used to argue to the moment when it was just about to turn a personal fight, where ego would take over. And that time, they were smart in switching sides. So they would not let their personality, they won't let things getting personal. And that's how these arguments work, and it's a path to discover a solution. You got to argue, you got to debate till the time it gets personal. Cognitive diversity is very, very important in team. We need people with diverse background. We need people with diverse thinking. And we need to give comfort to them that their diverse thinking will be appreciated. And these diverse people are not expected to conform to a particular way of thinking. Then the whole idea of bringing diverse people collapses. Celebrating for contributing and pushing group forward over the rightfulness of that person. Cognitive friction is important. Now, what is cognitive friction? Let people discover an idea and a solution. Let them discover this path. Now, discovering this path, discovering these ideas are more important than winning. Goal is to explore ideas together over win. Becoming comfortable in exploring all points of view, whether you like it or not like it, whether it's comfortable or discomfortable, looking at merits, demerits of all possible dimensions. This is cognitive friction. Becoming comfortable with and inviting disagreements. Creating an environment where dissent and pushback is encouraged and appreciated over discouraged. Diffusing tension through play and humor whenever things are about to get personal is all part of cognitive friction. Intellectual humility is all about opening of mind to diverse point of view and accepting it as it is. Willingness to listen to people's ideas and thought process before making any judgment so that you gather all the information. Putting yourself in another person's shoes and looking from their perspective, their side, and understanding story from a different perspective. Depersonalizing conflict and idea, not taking things personally, not letting ego come in between, and exploring these possible ideas is a beautiful way how a team can perform to its best. Separating ego from intellect, understanding that you have a limited knowledge and you need to understand dimensions, perspective which you are unaware of. Overcoming intellectual overconfidence, what got you here not necessarily will take you to the next level. So being open to very, very diverse ideas. Being willing to review views and strategies when it's hard is a hallmark of top leaders and top performing teams. This gives me an example of Amazon. Out of 3 rules, 1 rule is they are stubborn to vision, but they are flexible onto their path. Building a great team is an art and science. Let diverse people be there in your time. Let diverse people be comfortable in sharing their diverse point of view. Don't let these diverse people conform to seniors' identity and hierarchical cultures. Let them express themselves, and that's how you find solutions to tough and difficult situations.